Senator Booker.
Mr. Chairman, I'm grateful for this opportunity. Thank you to the ranker as well. How are you?
Thank you, Senator. I'm fine. Thank you.
Good. I want to ask some questions that are more focused on Africa. And as you know, it's home to about 1.46 billion people, the world's the world's youngest population. The continent has an average age of about 19.5 years old. And in many ways, it's really important, as you know, for the United States to show up and provide a platform for fair reporting. And so recognizing the success of Radio Free Europe and Radio Free Asia, what's the viability of a similar program in Africa?
I think that it's something we ought to investigate. I think we ought to investigate the best way of reaching into the African continent and into the Latin America and South America. I think we ought to look at it and see whether or not that's a viable way of operating. I'm heading to Kenya next week, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to meet, thanks to USAG, I'm pulling them all together, 40 of the African continent's largest media CEOs. And the purpose, for my purpose, is to say, what are you getting from China that you're not getting from us? Tell us what they're doing. Tell us if you're satisfied. Tell us what we can do to better reach you. Tell us how we can better reach you, how we can be better partners to you. So I think we ought to investigate every possible means of reaching the continent.
No, I appreciate that, because what the PRC does on the continent is stunning. They use the media in Africa really to amplify and spread pro-China propaganda. And according to a recent U.S. Institute of Peace report, China uses local outlets and influential African voices to disseminate and authenticate its Africa-focused propaganda. And so this is really disturbing, and I'm wondering how closely does the USAGM work with local journalists to discredit this misinformation on the continent?
We have a large number of affiliates in both the continents that we're talking about right now, in Africa and Latin America. We have a large number of local affiliates, but part of the reason I'm going down there is to make sure that I can see that we keep those affiliates and don't lose them to China and Russia, and also to see what it is we need to do to expand our partnership reach in this vital area, because getting our news and information through local partners is a really, really efficient, and it gives us credibility in being able to do that. So we have a large number of partners right now. We need more.
And when you say partners, you know, African journalists are extraordinary, but there's almost like a competition going on for their hearts and minds, right?
And one of the things is we do train journalists. The other thing we do is we work together with local journalists to do perhaps important investigations that they need to have done, because we can provide the kind of not safety and security, but the kind of distance that makes them more willing to take the risks of doing vital investigations. So they find that working with us gives them a little bit of security, and so we are in fact doing that quite a bit, is partnering with local journalists. And
USAGM, how is it working really on emerging technologies and digital platforms? Because this is a lot of the ways that young people are communicating with such a huge youth bubble. It seems to me that we need to sort of find ways to communicate on those platforms effectively. And what extent is the Open Technology Fund part of that kind of effort?
So, right, the Open Technology Fund incubates and develops and provides the kind of circumvention technology that enables people to get past the digital shutdowns in these areas and to reach out into other places where they can reach the information they want and need. And we had to basically late last year, as a result of the demonstrations that took place, as a result of the young woman who was killed for being detained by the morality police, we basically ran through the entire circumvention budget, or close to the entire circumvention budget, in a little over a month, 2 months, because the demand for our circumvention technology was so great. So using that is a really important thing, is the Open Technology Fund and its ability to provide means for people to get news and information through the vital technology.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, and to the ranker, I know there's no coincidence that you are all holding this hearing on World Press Freedom Day, and it's probably been mentioned already. You cannot have a democracy without the free press. It's essential. It's not a luxury. And it's vital not just for democracy, but also for human rights. And I have a feeling this was already mentioned, but I just want to join the chorus of bipartisan senators calling on the Russian government to immediately release American journalist Evan Gershkovich. His wrongful detention is not only outrageous and unacceptable, it's an affront to the ideals of freedom and freedom of the press.
Thank you, Senator. It has been mentioned by Senator Haggerty in his opening statement or his comments, and we all join you in those comments.
I know you know that Senator Haggerty and I are aligned far more than people seem to know.
We do know that. We are reporting on that every day.
Yes,
That's independent journalism.
And rumors has it, I don't know if this is a propaganda or not, but he's thinking about shaving his head to be more like me in the future.
I thought you were going to let your hair grow.